Okay, so this is about how I typically put my posts together before putting them in the pup's ears to post them. I have two different lengths of backer rod that I use, or widths rather. And the first is a 1/2 inch backer rod, and the other is a 5/8 inch backer rod. I typically use 5/8 for the bridge and 1/2 inch for the posts. In very young pups, I will go to a 3/8 inch for the posts. And in older dogs, typically 7, 8 months, especially in males, I will sometimes switch to 5/8 inch diameter for the posts. A lot of that depends on how much shaping I'm trying to do of the ear, and a lot of it has to do with finessing things. So I take my length of backer rod, and I'm going to cut the length that I think I need for the posts. And if I'm doing a 1/2 post, I'm going to cut enough to where it ends approximately at the top of the head and goes up the ear. Otherwise, I'm going to do enough to go down in the ear and reach up to the top. Next, I'm going to take some of my cheap duct tape. It is important that it is the cheap kind and intended for craft use. If you use the brand name duct tape for this, it is too soft and requires multiple layers, and you're more likely to get wrinkles, which can cause sores in the dog's ears. But with the cheap kind, I can use a single layer. I'm less likely to get wrinkles, which can cause problems. And the colors are kind of fun. Also, it's more cost effective. So I'm going to tear a length. I typically want to tear a length that will span down to 3/4 of an inch or an inch from the base. Typically, I want to go close to the base, but not all the way. The tape going all the way to the base can predispose them to sores. So then I gently roll it around the post lengthwise. And I want, the goal with this is to have as few wrinkles as possible so that I have a nice smooth post to put in their ears. And then I will usually cut the base at just a little bit of an angle so that it irritates the inside of the ear a little bit less. And often I will go ahead and trim the top just a tiny bit as well. You don't have to do those trimming things. Those are just housekeeping type things that I typically do. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the other post. Lay that tape lengthwise down your backer rod, and then gently smooth and wrap around that backer rod so that we don't get wrinkles to cause sores in those ears. So I got a nice smooth post there, and then you can cut the base or not, as you prefer. A lot of mine I do. If I'm doing a 1/2 post, I don't typically worry about it. Then I select which tape I'm going to use to back wrap my post. The Leukotape, each tape has its own advantages and disadvantages. Leukotape is extremely sticky. It will stick very well. It does not breathe well. It also runs currently about $7 a roll. The Hampton athletic tape breathes well. Most pups tolerate it. It's also got a really nice stick level to it, and it runs around $3.50 a roll. The Zonus porous tape is the least sticky of our three. It is the most breathable of the three tapes, and it also runs about $3.50 a roll. If I am using Zonus tape to wrap the ears, I typically will back wrap my post with Zonus. If I'm using Hampton tape to wrap the ears, typically I will back wrap my post with Hampton. If I am doing Zonus, but I need a little bit of extra stick, sometimes I'll back wrap the inner post with Hampton. If I am doing the Hampton tape, and I need more stick, then I will back wrap the post with the Luco tape. If I am using Guard-Tex finger tape to wrap the ears, I will always back wrap with the Luco tape. It does need to be this most sticky type in order for it to work well with the Guard-Tex. When I go to wrap the post, I start at one end or the other, it doesn't really matter which, and I line my tape up with the edge. I'm going to wrap it all the way around once and make sure that it's nice and stuck so that I have it anchored, and then I'm going to turn around and go the other direction with that tape so that now I have a sticky side out. And then from there, I will continue down the post until I reach the base with that sticky side out. Now, if I have my post cut on an angle like that, sometimes I will need to angle my tape to get it wrapped around nicely. So then I have my post that is sticky side out, that is ready to go in an ear. Then, depending on which tape I'm going to use, I'm going to tear several lengths ahead of time, and I will either lay them out across the edge of a table, across the side of my leg, or stuck to something else nearby that is convenient for me to utilize when I am